1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Do you miss the Nanticoke Newsroom? Are you going through nightly withdrawal without seeing Bob Cow and his sidekick, Jack the Cat? Do you miss hearing digs about Glenn Line? Do you miss seeing Bob drink vodka on air and ad-lib about Nanticoke nonsense? Once again, do you miss Jack the Cat? And how about Anna? Well, you can help. Well, you could have helped. For just 24 cents a day and some meow mix, you could have kept the Nanticoke Newsroom on the air. Rarely does a startup show by a poor, talentless actor become a major hit. But we did it. And y'all missed out by letting it fade away. It was just 24 cents a day. That's just $87.60 a year, which would have helped pay off your Nanticoke property taxes. But guess what? I forgot to tell you that.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the latest Encore edition of the Nanticoke Newsroom. And no, we're not charging you 24 cents a day or $87 a year. No, we're doing this show for free because I miss the Nanticoke Newsroom as much as you do. I just don't have as much time for it as I used to because of Corona. So, thank you for tuning in again. I heard a lot of good messages over the last couple weeks of how much people miss the Nanticoke Newsroom. So the first item of business is I don't know if I'll be able to ever do Nanticoke Newsroom again after this because I might have committed a crime. I think I might have committed a crime during Corona or towards the tail end of Corona. So, as you all know, I work at the Citizen's Voice. It's my full-time job, but I also am a bartender at the casino. And obviously I've been laid off at the casino because the casino is closed down. Some people tell me, well, you're eligible for unemployment, right? So I'm like, I don't think so because I have a full-time job. I called unemployment up. They say, yeah, you are. Then they say no. Then yeah, then no. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to research it online. I'm like, I think it says if you have a second job and you're laid off, you can apply. So anyways, I applied, got approved, got the money already. Then these help desk people at unemployment say, you know, you're not eligible for unemployment if you have a full-time job. I'm like, that's exactly why I emailed you and said, was this a mistake? So I got the money in my bank account, and I don't know if I'm eligible for unemployment or not. We got Senator Udchak working on it, see if I am. So if I go to jail recently or soon, it's because of an alleged false unemployment claim that someone at unemployment, some rookie that's working there said, yeah, you're eligible. I applied and they approved me and the money's in the bank account. And now they're saying you're not eligible. Well, if I'm not eligible, why did you approve it and why did you send the money? Right? So, alright. Anyhow, what else is going on in town? Nanticoke cops. So, as you know, Mike Rope got promoted to police chief a couple months ago, and the acting police chief, after Tom Wall left, Robert Lehman, he took a job with the Luzerne County District Attorney's Office. So you know what that means? We have 2 jobs opening in Nanticoke. Or at least one will be filled. And guess what? Nobody applied. Well, eventually some people applied, but it took them a long time to get applicants. Nobody wants to be a cop these days. You see what's going on in the streets. So we had, as of a day before the applications were due, the deadline, there were 0 people that returned their applications. I think we eventually got 8, 9, 10, maybe even 15. So hopefully we get 1 or 2 good men or women to fill those spots that were opened up by the promotion of Chief Roke and the moving on from Captain Lehman to the Luzerne County District Attorney's Office. So as you all know, everybody, I came out of retirement for this because it's been a while, but this is a warm-up video. And actually, warm-up, I'm sweating here because this office studio needs air conditioning. But, I'm doing this video as a warm-up because the next video is going to be a home run. I'm going to put a lot of time and effort into it because the pizza man came to town again. He came to Wilkes-Barre, he came to Scranton, and he did some reviews. Dave Portnoy from Barstool Sports, he has like a side gig now, side hustle, where he reviews pizza. And he came to Old Forge a couple months ago. That's the first time I ever heard of the guy. He's legendary. He's going to be a billionaire one day. He's worth hundreds of millions of dollars. And he's just a funny guy on the internet. and he comes and reviews pizza. And we are going to get him to come to Nanticoke at some point. I promise you that. So I never promise, but as I always say, I always like to under-promise and over-deliver. But with this one, I'm going to over-promise and over-deliver. The pizza man, Dave Portnoy, is going to come to Nanticoke to try all of our pizza places once we do the next video. We're just waiting for the ones from Scranton and Wilkes-Barre to drop, get some buzz, and then we're going to put them on blast on the internet on this show, and Portnoy's coming to Nanticoke. Alright, the cat feature of the day. There's probably a couple, but here's a cool one. So the other day I was out in the yard and I see a cat that looks like Jack, but a lot skinnier. I'm like, uh-oh, that's Jack's baby. Right? Was that your baby? So I'm like, uh-oh. Ah! Did you see that? So I'm like, uh-oh. Ah! Did you see that? And he took the shirt. What the hell happened? He spun off the freaking set. Are you drunk? Anyhow, that's obviously not scripted. This is shit that happens on an Nanticoke Newsroom. So, I thought it was Jack's baby in the yard. Because remember, I let Jack out a couple times, like, accidentally. So I'm like, oh my god, he has a baby out here. So Jack was in the window looking at his little baby. Looking at his baby. I'm like, oh, I was going to take him on a leash to go see the baby. So I text my sister in Australia. Make sure it was a good time to text her. And I'm like, oh, Jack's looking at his baby. And she goes, hey, there he's back. She goes, what are you talking about? Jack's fixed. So all this time I was worried Jack's out there having all these babies and he's fixed. He can't have kids. My sister said, right? 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 So, I know there's another cool picture of Jack in my laundry container on his bed. And my sister, he knocked over the Constitution. Now he's knocking over the United States flag. Come on. You're like one of these protesters. Are you a protester? Do you want the Lincoln Memorial down next? Alright. And my sister yelled at me because I gave Gigi a haircut without telling her. Gigi's the cat next door. Gigi looked like a porcupine. A furball. And it's hot out. And she's 11 or 12 years old and hot and sweating. So me and a friend, we were like, oh, let's take 10 minutes to give Gigi a haircut. Well, and we tried to make Gigi look like a lion. It took like 3.5 hours to make Gigi look like this, but this is what we did. Speaking of animals, last night, a lot of people you saw on Facebook, I helped save a dog. There was like a convoy of cars that were following this German Shepherd on Main Street in Nanticoke for literally like a mile. It was in the middle of the road, then it was on the opposite end of the street where cars were coming head on, almost killed it. I'm like beeping my horn, flashing my lights. We corralled this dog eventually on San Sui Parkway. And someone took it to the police station. So I'm like, okay, I need to let people know that the dog's at the police station. So I kind of spun around on the San Sui, parked alongside of the road. Little did we know, yesterday they were doing like this crazy DUI roving patrol over Nanticoke, all the state police, like 20 cars probably. Obviously I was just coming home from work, so I was all good. But I was on the side of the road. And just like now, I was sweating like crazy. When the cop pulled up, he's like, the first thing he says to me, sir, why are you sweating so much? And I'm like, I don't know, I just helped save a dog. It was like, I traveled like a mile with it. Were you running after a dog? I was like, a little bit. And I'm like, well, I was thinking, why am I sweating so much? So he drove away. So what happened was, I had to put the window down to talk to one of the people that we were helping try to save the dog with, and my windshield fogged up, so I had to put the defroster on and put on heat. So I was sitting there on the side of the road with the heat blasting on me. That's why I was sweating, and the cop's like, why are you sweating? That's why. Right, Jack? Alright, the old photo of the day, one of the awesomest days in Nanticoke high school history. Well, I was in high school, at least, and me and my friends. The class of 1998 Halloween was epic. They did a WWF Halloween. So all the guys in class came down the aisle, you know, Ultimate Warrior, Roddy Piper, everyone. And got on stage and did a little pretend wrestling for like 10 seconds. Well, guess what? The 11th grade class, 10th and 9th, said, hell yeah, we're rushing the stage. And it was like a Royal Rumble on stage. And I think there were some little, like, legit haymakers happening on stage. So next year, our Halloween had to be out in the football field to keep things safe. All right, and while we were on quarantine, this is my laugh, smile, and cry feature of the quarantine season. While we were on quarantine, there's a group of close friends I have, and every once in a while we'd like to make a joke, and I'm sort of good at Photoshop, and for the people online, that's like where you could edit photos to move things around, to manipulate them. And so here's a few of them. My friend Rick Tennyson, who is a doctor of nursing, and we call him Dr. Rick at times, we made him in the image of Dr. Fauci at a White House coronavirus briefing. Heather Ravello of Ravello's Pizza in Old Forge and Kingston and other places. We have her face on a protester protesting the lockdown, the business lockdown during the quarantine. Her husband, Pat Ravello. We have him as President Trump. And Pat deserves to be president one day, so this is a fitting photo. My good friend Kelly Amelia, we put her as a founding member of Destiny's Child, 1990s, I believe, like R&B, hip-hop group. The lead singer was, for the people online, Beyonce. And then we have Adam Eicher as figure skater Adam Rippon. So that's just a little of my Photoshop work during the quarantine to bust my friends. And tonight's Cliff Lewis random act of kindness goes out to Cliff Lewis. He posted it, and I didn't know who I was going to give it to, so I went on Cliff's page, and I saw the other day, him and his kids said they went to the pound and adopted a rescue dog, a new rescue dog. His kids are happy, he's happy, and I'm happy for Cliff that they got a new puppy. And speaking of animals, I need to get a new cat, because Jack's going back to my sister. Anyone who knows the little kitten for me, I want to get a little kitten so I can raise it right from scratch. So, without further ado, hold on. You know how this show usually ends. Jack frickin' took the shirt when he flipped off the table. Anna, take her away.
Stay safe out.